Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video here on FPL Now. Today we're going to be going over my final team selection and thoughts ahead of game week 27. So if you're excited for the video, drop a like down below, leave a comment what players are you thinking of bringing in, subscribe if you're brand new, and let's get into the video. So starting things off, my team has actually changed quite a little bit with my bench, just because of the press conference we've just had regarding Porro and Solanke and stuff like that. At the back, though, it is still kind of the same, but we have obviously had to get rid of Porro. He is about a week away, according to the Spurs manager, which is a little bit unfortunate. I'm still not super worried about it, though. The main reason I've kept Porro is for game week 29, and if he is a week away, then he should hopefully be back for the Villa fixture, and then obviously he should definitely be back for the Fulham fixture, which is obviously in game week 29, which is what I need him for. So fingers crossed he is okay. If you do have Udogie instead, he's got a chance to make this game, so he'll definitely be okay for game week 29. But yeah, fingers crossed that Porro is good. Now, I was wanting to play him at home to Crystal Palace this week. That's obviously not the case anymore, so Ake has had to come in for him. I'm not completely confident about playing Ake as well, just simply because we won't have early team news about him most likely, so that's going to be a little bit of a gamble. And then my only other defender is Estepinian, and, you know, he's just a completely different player now. Like, before he was, like, banging in assists, getting bonus points. Now he's lucky to get a start, so I don't really want to play him this week. So I may actually have to make a defender transfer this week, which I wasn't completely happy about, simply because my team looks so good before like all of these injuries and stuff like that. But yeah, at the back we do have Martinez, who's got Luton away, so that's a pretty nice fixture. It's still a difficult place to go, Luton away, which is it's not really a thing I'd ever thought I'd say for the Prem, but, you know, they have been really good at home. But because, like, the Villa defense is a little bit all over the place, like, Moreno came off early in the last fixture, came off with, like, a -1. I think Pau Torres has got a little bit more of an injury. I'm actually recording this before the press conference for Villa, so I'm not really sure what's happening with the defenders, but having a solidified, like, kind of defender spot with Villa is quite nice. So Luton away is a good fixture, obviously on paper, but you never know what's going to happen. And then the other defenders are Ake, who's got Man United at home. If he starts, I'm absolutely fine playing him. It's just the question on whether he starts. I think he should start. Like I say, Gvardiol is still out, but because of the rotation with Walker, and then obviously Ake got rotated, like, all these things can happen now. So you don't know. You just kind of have to hope for the best. But yeah, I think I'd probably just bite the bullet and just play Ake, and then if he gets benched, it is what it is. You know, I just don't think it's really worth a transfer, because there's not really any defenders that I'm kind of really liking the look of this week. The only player I would think about maybe bringing in, and I'll talk about this a little bit more in the transfer part of the video, is maybe like a Bournemouth defender, just because I'm probably going to be bringing one of those in anyway next week. But if, like, I bring in Senesi, however you say his name, he picks up a yellow card, he's one yellow card away from a 2-match suspension, and that's not ideal with the double game week coming up, because then if he picks one up in the first of the double game weeks, that means he can't play, you know, the second game in double game week 28, and then he won't be able to play 29. Well, he'll miss 29, obviously, so he won't be able to play the second fixture in game week 28, which is not ideal. So I don't think I really want to do that. So yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but it looks like the safest bet is just to play Ake this week and hope for the best. My other two defenders are fine, though. I've got Gabriel, who's got Sheffield United away. I would love double Arsenal defense this week. I really would, but it just makes no sense to bring in another Arsenal defender. And then we've got Virgil van Dijk, who's got Forest away, who again I think is also going to concede. He has been scoring for fun, though. He did score for me in game week 25 or whatever it was, and then he obviously scored in the cup final as well in game week 26. So hopefully he can do something against Forest. But as a Forest fan, I would like to obviously win the game. So hopefully if we win 2-1 but Van Dijk scores, that'd be perfect. But either way, that's the back line and the goalkeeper. But like I say, the Porro news is a little bit unfortunate. I thought he was going to be back for this game week, which has obviously not been the case. So we'll have to see what happens. In midfield, though, it's just as you were. We have Douglas Luiz, who's got Luton away. Foden, who's got Man United at home. Palmer, who's got Brentford away. And then Saka, who's got Sheffield United away. I would absolutely love to have Son this week, 100%, who's got Crystal Palace at home. But I just don't know who I would get rid of. Like, it can't be Douglas Luiz or Bowen, because they both play in 29. I'm not going to get rid of Saka, who's got Sheffield United away. I can't get rid of Palmer for him because I don't have the funds. So the only player that I can get rid of for Son is Foden. And I just don't feel comfortable getting rid of him for Foden. But at the same time, I need to bring in Son at some point regardless, like whether that be in 29 or now or next week. But like, I don't think I'll be bringing him in next week because he'll have Villa away. Plus, I'll be concentrating on probably bringing in like Doughty and stuff. So it's kind of this week or 29 really. So is it really worth getting rid of him for Son this week when I don't have to make the transfer? And you never know what's going to happen as well. Like, if I bring Son in and he goes and gets injured, then it's just going to obviously not go well. But at the same time, with Richarlison out for 2 to 3 weeks, Son playing down the middle, just a different breed, man. He's just so much better. So that's the thing as well. Obviously on penalties, so it's one of those, like, I don't know if it's going to be like a last minute transfer or not, but as of right now, it doesn't make sense to make the move. But I would really like Son in my team, but the only player that I can get rid of is Foden for him. But, you know, before Man United at home, I just don't think it's really worth it. And then up top, we've got Solanke, who's got Burnley away. So this is a bit of an issue because the manager did say they were going to do a late minute or a last minute, like, fitness check and stuff. Like, he had an MRI scan on his knee. They didn't find anything bad. He just has a little bit of pain there. So I think they've got a training session because they play Sunday. So unfortunately, we're not going to find out with early team news if he starts or not. I don't even think there's any, like, reliable Bournemouth leakers anyway. We've never really needed any. So yeah, I'm not really sure if he's going to play or not. Like, I feel like he's not going to be on the bench. I feel like if he's good to play, he's going to play, or he's just not going to be in the squad. I just don't think that they would bother just benching him for. I just don't think they'd either play him or just not risk him all. And so because of that, I think I'm just safe, like, benching Bowen and then obviously playing Solanke. I don't think Bowen is a great option this week just because Everton are actually really good at the back. You know, Dutch football's really sorted them out, and it's at home. So I don't think Bowen's going to do great this week. But if Solanke is not in the picture, then obviously Bowen coming off the bench, it's not the worst thing in the world. I've also got Haaland, who's my current captaincy against Man United at home, and I've also got Watkins, who's got Luton away. So that's the current team selection. The bench being Turner, Liverpool at home, obviously Bowen, who's got Everton away, Estepinian, who's got Fulham away, and then Porro, who's got Crystal Palace at home. So as I say, that's the team. Let's move on to the whole transfers, though, and, like, final thoughts and just kind of an idea of what I'm probably going to be doing this week. So I do have 2.1 mil in the bank, 1 free transfer. So obviously the ideal situation is just to roll this week, and then next week probably start taking a look at, like, double game week players and stuff like that. So I think next week would be the case where if I did have 2 free transfers, if I roll this week and then I have 2 free transfers next week, I'm probably going to get rid of Estepinian and Van Dijk because Van Dijk's got City at home, so I don't really need him for that fixture. And probably bring in Doherty, who's got a double, and then obviously plays in 29. And then probably, if he's not on, like, 9 yellows, probably bring in Senesi. And that'll give me 3 doublers, which, you know, it's not the worst thing in the world. I think they're, like, the main 3 doublers that people are going to really be bothered about. Like, the only other Luton players really is, like, Ross Barkley and stuff, who, you know, I could bring in for, I don't know, maybe Palmer that week and just take a hit and bring him in and just have another doubler, which I'm not completely against, but I don't think it's, like, a massive necessity. But that would help me with, like, game week 29, because I feel like I'm not playing my wildcard now. I know I spoke about it in yesterday's wildcard video, but I kind of thought about it, and I just think wildcard 31, and then free hit 34, and then bench boost 37 is just going to be what I do. I think that's just going to be how I end the season. It'll just set me up really well for it all. And I could even bench boost in 34, to be fair, if I wildcard in 31, because the 34 doubles, like, they aren't fantastic. Obviously, we'll find out more information about it soon, but as of right now, it's not great. It's like Sheffield United and stuff, and, like, Palace and players like that you just don't really need, but you could have on your bench. So I wouldn't mind, like, just benching these doublers and then just bench boosting, and then 37 just free hit and just proper attack it. But I feel like the bench boost might be more beneficial in 37 because of, like, if I wildcard now and all my transfers up until 37, if I wildcard in 31 and all my transfers up to 37 are just in the idea of that bench boost, then that'll be the kind of, like, play. Because hopefully by the time I wildcard, we might have a little bit more information about the doubles and stuff like that. So, and even then, I'll have, like, 6 or so free transfers in between 31 and 37 or whatever, to kind of, like, sort that out regardless. So that, yeah, so I don't think I'm going to be using any chips. We're just going to see what happens. I think, like, another thing that I could do is obviously just not bring in a Bournemouth defender. Like, if Senesi picks up a yellow card this weekend, who's got Burnley, when he's got Burnley away, I wouldn't go there. And I think that would generally help me out because I think a lot less people would own him. I think Doherty and Solanke are going to be the main owned doublers. I think Barkley might be quite highly owned. And then as well as that, there might be, like, I don't know, like a different Bournemouth defender. Like, I think Neto will be quite highly owned as well, the goalkeeper, which is, you know, fair enough. That's obviously a really good player to have. But apart from that, like, I think it wouldn't be actually too bad. So I could probably just, like, use both free transfers to bring in, like, a game week 29 player or something like Regulon I could bring in. Like, obviously doesn't have a great fixture, so I'd probably just like maybe roll the second transfer, but I feel like it makes a lot more sense attacking this double. So if I do use 2 of these free transfers in 28, I would have 1, 2, 3 if Poro's fit, 4, 5, 6 playing players. So that's going into game week 28. So going into game week 29, I would have another free transfer, which would be Foden out for Son. So that'd give me 7 players. And then I would probably just take a hit and just play 8 playing players. And the last player would probably be, I don't know, maybe like Regulon or something like that for Ake, because he'll have Arsenal at home after that. So I'll bring in Regulon or something like that, who will have Burnley away as well. So that will be like the situation there. And I don't think it will be too bad, because I don't really want to get rid of Palmer, because he's got Burnley at home in 31. Because like in 30, should I say? Because if I'm wildcard in 31, that being said, though, I do kind of want triple. I do really want triple Spurs though, just because of the fixtures they've got. They've got Luton at home in 31. In 30, should I say? Sorry, it's very difficult to try and keep up with everything. But yeah, they've got a really nice fixture in 30. So I'd probably bring in another Spurs player in 30 just to attack that Luton fixture, and that probably would be like maybe Bowen out or Douglas Luiz maybe. I think I just have enough for Douglas Luiz to like Maddison, so I could always do that as well for 30, and then have like 3 Spurs players for 30, and then whatever else that I've got, and then 31 wild card, and then proper sort my team out. So I just need to get through 29, but I would have like 8 playing players with a hit, which it's not ideal, don't get me wrong, but I will get like 3 extra fixtures if I played my free hit, whereas if I play it in 34, I'll have like 5 extra fixtures or something like that. So I'll take a red arrow in the meantime, but then hopefully a bigger green arrow in the future. So it's kind of high risk, high reward. I don't like taking a hit, obviously, but you know, I think 7 playing players is a little bit like, I think that's a bit of a crime, really. I feel like 8 you can kind of get away with. As long as I own like the main players that are going to be playing, I don't think it's going to be too bad. And the highly owned players on wildcard, on free hit, are mainly going to be Watkins, obviously Tony, but I just can't really get to Tony. I mean, I could get rid of Solanke, to be fair, which I don't completely mind doing, because then they've got United in 31 and then in 30, and then I can just transfer him out. But Solanke has like Everton and Crystal Palace, but that is something that I could do. Like when I do bring in like Doherty and Senesi, and you know, obviously I'm not going to have Regular. I don't think I'll be making that transfer. I will have 2.7, so I could even just get rid of Solanke and just bring in Tony, who is probably one of the better options actually with Burnley away. So that would probably be my transfer in game week 29. So I would have obviously after the hit, I would bring in Son and Tony, which again are most of the highly owned players. The only players that I wouldn't have are like Maddison, who could do really well. You know, Richarlison might still be out. I'd have my Spurs defender, so that'd be fine. I'd have my Luton defender, so that would be fine. I'd have triple Villa, so that'd be fine. And then Bowen as well, who's also going to be highly owned. So as long as I own like the highly owned players, I don't think it's going to be a problem at all. And then 30 will just sort that out. You know, I think I'll have enough players that can do well in 30, and then 31 just like wildcard and sort everything out. So that's probably going to be the play, but that's only if I roll this week, you know, and rolling this week definitely looks on the card. Like this team doesn't look bad. Like on paper, it looks okay. You know, Ake is the only real problem. If Solanke doesn't play, then Bowen comes off the bench. So yeah, it's not awful, you know, and I think rolling would just put me in a better position, because I don't really want to jump on the Bournemouth player too early when he could like pick up another yellow. So yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I'll take a hit in 29, field 8 players, but as long as they're the mostly owned players, then I think we'll be okay. A lot of people will be playing their free hit, but I just think the free hit bench boost combination and wildcard, so wildcard 31, free hit 34, bench boost 37, I think is just going to get me better points. So yeah, I've just kind of been playing my own game for the last few weeks, so I'm just going to carry on doing it. I've literally said I'm going to be doing no chips before 30 for the longest of time, so I'm just going to stick to it. It's done well for me so far, so hopefully it carries on. But either way, that's going to be everything for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please do consider hitting the like button down below. Leave a comment. What are your plans for Game Week 27? Subscribe if you're brand new, and until next time, peace.